You get the sense, I mean, it's a really important period for Rashford.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 seasons ago, he had that great season where he scored 30 goals, and then last season, just 8 in all competitions. It's real disappointing. So he started well under the last manager, Erik, and then faded slightly. So what are we going to see here? Now, what was interesting against Ipswich is he started as a centre-forward, despite Amorim having Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee available. And we can see from his numbers, his actual record as a striker, Rashford, is not too bad. He's got 10 goals in 24 games in the games where he started in that central striker role. Now, as a winger, it's a little bit different. He's played much more games and he has scored more goals, but the goal rate is a little bit, well, it's clearly not as good. He actually creates just as many as a centre-forward than he does as a winger, and the XG is a lot higher too. He's getting better high-quality chances, and the chances created, it's not too dissimilar, is it? 94, 1.02, so yeah. Marcus Rashford isn't too bad as centre-forward according to the numbers. It's just a question of whether that's his long-term role under Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, because Amorim's saying, you know, it wasn't in his best position. What else did, I guess, Sunday show?
Well, it wasn't a great game for Manchester United, was it? They were under the cosh quite a lot from Ipswich. So what we saw from the heat map is that Rashford was actually forced back to his own goal quite a bit. Actually, the biggest area he was actually in his own half near the centre circle, but he was sort of drifting out to the left. So that might give a lot of encouragement that maybe that central role for Marcus Rashford is the one for him. But he does have Rasmus Højlund, he does have Joshua Zirkzee available. And obviously, centre-forward is sort of like a big theme under Ruben Amorim, because look at what he did with Victor Gyökeres, for example, and developed him as a young player. Now, Rashford's not young anymore, but now we sort of have to see if Rashford is going to have a long-term career at Manchester United, because he's already had a good career, but he needs to now show he deserves to be there. He needs to sort of hit the ground running under Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, well, just 1 goal for United on Sunday. Obviously, Rashford after just 81 seconds. Is finding the net the biggest issue to resolve? I mean, how do you resolve a problem like that?
Well, exactly. All you have to do is look at the numbers. You know, just 13 goals despite creating 18 XG. You know, that it's the second worst underachievement in the Premier League after Crystal Palace, who are not having a good season themselves, and that's mainly because they've got such a poor shot conversion, especially the likes of Højlund and Zirkzee, who've started the seasons in centre-forward roles, and they miss a lot of big chances as well. It's not as if they don't get enough chances or there's a creativity issue. It is purely a shooting issue. So, you know, Rashford got off to a great start against Ipswich, but it's just a question of, you know, whether he can get that consistency to change all these numbers.
How key could Bruno Fernandes be to trying to change the numbers?
Well, he is a good creative outlet, but he's another player who's having to face with a position change. We heard from him just there talking about having to be in the front three, and he played in the front three against Ipswich, and look, the numbers were pretty good. He created more chances than anyone in the game. He's second, final, third passes, high up on the expected assists, and also pressed pretty well as well, and in the middle third, because Manchester United were playing with a slightly lower block. But yeah, he's sort of playing in the front three, but he is being pushed inside because Amad Diallo is playing more as a winger. Now at Sporting Lisbon, Ruben Amorim had a player called Pedro Gonçalves, who was one of the most creative players in the Portuguese top flight, and he was playing in the Bruno Fernandes role that he wants him to play.
Emulate.
Exactly. He's just trying to almost like copy and paste, because we know Amorim is very wedded to that 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3 formation. So the early signs for Bruno Fernandes are good, but the 2 big home games against Bodo Glimt and Everton to sort of improve these attacking numbers.
Yeah, see how he goes this week.
Well, we start at Old Trafford, where Manchester United fought back from a goal down to give Ruben Amorim a victory on his home debut against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League. Well, it was another quick start for United. Alejandro Garnacho giving them the lead in just 48 seconds. However, 2 quick Bodo goals saw United trail. Just before half-time, Rasmus Højlund levelled the game before his second 5 minutes into the second half proved to be the winner.
Very impressed in entertainment.
Yeah.
I think I was actually very impressed with Amorim's kind of football IQ, ability to see little, I guess, problems and then solve them with the substitutions. So very, very good. But I got to say, a little bit lucky as well. They were very good, much, much better. But the last kick of the game, Berg for Bodo Glimt almost hit a free kick into the top corner. Onana saved. And it's finished 3-2. Entertaining. Some sexy goals, so I love it. But a really interesting game. So 3-2, Manchester United finally win at Old Trafford.
Well, Tottenham were denied victory by Roma, who equalised in stoppage time to draw 2-2. Roma also saw 3 goals disallowed in the match. Well, within 3 minutes, Tottenham won a penalty when Mats Hummels brought down Pat Matar. Heung-min Son scored from the spot. Roma responded when Paulo Dybala's free kick was headed in by Evan Ndika. Brennan Johnson scored his 9th goal of the season, which should have been the match winner, but Hummels tapped in after sustained pressure from the visitors to earn a point for Roma. Rangers beat Nice 4-1 to give their chances of reaching the knockout stages a huge boost. Rangers had an early penalty given against them overturned after a VAR review of a handball and potential foul, but they then took control with 3 goals in quick succession before half-time. Vaclav Černý, Mohamed Diomande, Hamza Igamane with the goals, helped by some poor defending. Imane then made it 4-0 early in the second half before a fantastic free kick by Badruddin Bouanani pulled one back for Nice. Well, it was Chris Boyd who was watching this one for us. Chris, was it brilliant Rangers away, or was it a bit of a horror show from Nice? I guess probably somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah, it was a bit of both, to be honest, David. I mean, Nice were very poor, but I think you've got to give Rangers a lot of credit to go away from home and score 4 goals. And by the way, it should have been 6 or 7. They had some golden opportunities. Cyril Dessers missed an absolute sitter at the end, and then there was a few opportunities on the break, like 3v1s, 3v2s, that they failed to pick the correct pass. But a good night for Rangers in Europe. They needed this, but not only a result. A really good performance, and that's what Philippe Clement got for his team. Big decisions to make at the start of the game. Cyril Dessers has been his main striker, especially in Europe. Scored the last time in Olympiacos. He leaves him out, brings in the youngster and Igamane, and he scores 2 goals. And I thought he was really good on the night. His link-up play was very good. Brought the others into play. Straight from the kick-off, there was down the right-hand side, and Černý managed to get a shot away. And you could see that was the trend that was happening for Rangers. Černý in the score sheet again, and Diomande with a tidy finish. Really poor defending from Nice, but Rangers won't care. To go away from home in Europe, score 4 goals, should have been more. They'll be absolutely delighted. And Philippe Clement will probably just be sitting there thinking to himself, why can't I get this level of performance at home, domestically, away from home and at Ibrox? Because it just seems like 2 different teams. The performances away from home in Europe have been excellent, but at home domestically, it's been really poor.
Yeah, got to make it translate in the Scottish Premiership. Thank you very much indeed, Chris.
Cheers, thank you, good night.
Now, Chelsea made it 4 wins from 4 to top the Conference League table after a 2-0 victory over Bundesliga side Heidenheim. The win means that Chelsea are now mathematically certain of at least a Conference League playoff place. Well, Chelsea's opponents came into the game with 3 wins from 3, but they were seen off by second-half goals from Christopher Nkunku and Mykhailo Mudryk, both of them set up by Jadon Sancho. Chelsea also had Cesare Casadei sent off in the final minute of stoppage time.